He said, played you? How did I play you? I said, I'm over here doing the calculations and something's not adding up. I said, I added together everything that I spent, and then I added together what you supposedly just paid me, and that doesn't equal up to me owing you that much money. The remainder of what I would owe you would be something around $40, and you just told me that I owed you $500 at first, and then $200. I said, you can't include the payment that was just made for the Best Buy lease because that's not included. That was a remaining balance that still needed to be paid, and that didn't come out of my pocket check. So if you're trying to include that towards the total that was owed, then that's not right. Now he starts to say how I'm ungrateful and my math isn't right. He was like, what the fuck is $200 to me, you broke ass bitch?
I don't fuck with broke me. I break out in halves, you know. Shit.
Great. Oh.
And he starts to pull the $100 out of his pocket that I had just got at the ATM, and he throws it in my face. When he threw the money, he said, here, this is what you want. And as the money was falling on me, I'm picking it up. And I'm like, yes, this is. Thank you. This man snatches the money that I had just picked up out of my hand. I had still had one or two $20 bills in my hand, and we were literally like tugging for it back and forth, and then he snatched it from me. When he snatched it back, I was like, oh my God, I thought you just said you wasn't pressed for $100. I said, you know what? I'm over this. I'm out of here. I tried to head towards the door and open the door. I didn't even realize that he had followed behind me and lunged after me. He grabbed my left arm so hard and slammed the door with his other hand. And as that was happening, he says, bitch, you're not going nowhere. He grabbed me so hard, I literally screamed. Now I'm pinned against the wall and he's telling me, bitch, shut up. He opened the door back up and looked both ways outside of the door. Mind you, he still had my left arm in his hand. I tried to pull away from him, but he slung me back towards the couch and was like, go sit down. I sat down and now here he comes standing over top of me. Like my knees were literally in between his legs. He starts to scream at me, where the fuck you think you going? You trying to go run and tell some shit? I say, no, I'm just trying to go home. He says, why couldn't you just sit there and be cool? A nigga just paid over $3,000 worth in bills and you sitting up here complaining? You sitting up here saying you don't owe me nothing when you technically do.
Oh my God! Wow!
You see what we sitting inside? You see this apartment we sitting inside? This is an investment. This is on Airbnb. I had to spend over $4,000 to get this apartment up and going. When you said you want to go into Airbnb together, I put this apartment on there. I said, yeah, we talked about going into Airbnb together, but you never once said you was putting this apartment on there. You told me you just moved in here. He like, it's cool. You saying I owe you $3,000, but I had to spend $4,000 on this apartment. So it sounds like we're a little even. I say, we don't have anything typed up in agreements that says I have any ties to this apartment. He says, it doesn't matter. This is what you wanted, ain't it? I did this for you.
They actually did this?
I said, that's nice and all, but I didn't ask you to do that, and you didn't tell me that you were doing that. Now he like, ooh, you making me want to smack you. I looked at him with the sternest look, and I said, you better not touch me again. He says, I don't even got to. I'm finna call the girl that's a couple doors down to come beat your ass. I was just like, what is wrong with you? I'm raising up off the couch trying to head towards the door again as I'm saying that. As he was saying that, I was halfway to the door. I opened the door, and as I'm walking out, he screams, if you leave, I'm canceling them payments, and I know where to find you. The door was literally shutting as he said that. So when it shut, I was just standing there like, what the fuck did he just say? He instantly texted me and was like, don't call this phone again. I had stood there for like 10 to 15 minutes. I was just in shock, and I was just thoughts running. I didn't know what to do, what to think. Of course, I should have left, but I was just in shock at the moment. I knew he had my address. I thought he was in a gang. I'm thinking he's going to cancel the payments. I'm just really wanting my money back, and I'm thinking about my safety. So I knocked on the door.
Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you like and comment. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Make sure your notification bell is on so you're notified every single time I post. At this, it's not even funny, right? Because literally she did not have to go through all of this, and I've been saying this from part one. From the time this man came out, all these red flags were flagging. It was carnival. She did not have to go through this. But the fact that this man said that he put up his apartment that he is barely in, because didn't he say he had a storage place? Okay, yeah. He put up an apartment that's not even in his name. Okay, let's clock that T, okay? Because his ex came out and said that that apartment was in her name, okay? And that's the apartment that he got evicted out of. But that's not, oh, I can't even speak. I understand what she's saying about thinking he's in a gang. He knows her address. He's going to cancel the payments, blah, 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 blah. Baby, you could have still left. At this point, you had two opportunities to leave. The first one was the DoorDash. The second one was right now when you're standing outside. You're standing out there for 10, 15 minutes for what? That is your time to leave, to go home, to go to the hospital. My goodness. My goodness. He knows who to play with. Do you hear me? He knows who to play with. Unpack your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep going.
He comes to the door and was like, what? And I was like, what did you just say before I had left out? And he was like, you heard me. I know where to find you if you play with me. You can't even just sit here and just be cool. He was like, I don't know why you think I'm lying to you about anything. I'm not. I said, okay. I'll be cool. I'll come in here and I'll be cool. As I'm walking back in, I'm saying again, I do not want any problems. Please do not cancel the payments. He tells me if I just be cool, everything's going to work out. I said, okay, I'll stay, but under one condition. I'm going in the bedroom. He was like, I don't give a fuck. I was already laying on the couch anyway. And as he was saying that, I had walked straight into the bedroom and shut the door. I had yelled out to him and asked if it was okay to take a shower, and he said that it was. I go and I start the shower water, but I don't get in. I was looking around because I wanted to know whose apartment was I actually in.
Why does that matter? At this point, now you're about to start pissing me off. Because why did you go back in? To go in the bedroom for what? After all that just happened to you. What are you doing? Leave. Go home. Forget the payments at this point. Baby, you need to go to the hospital and get a grape kit. You need to go to the police station. Forget the payments. What the? Ooh.
But the thing was, that bitch was empty. It was literally just the bed only in the bedroom. By then, of course, I had to pee. I'd been there for a while, and he almost made me pee on myself when he grabbed me. So I went to use the bathroom, and as I'm using the bathroom, I had looked over, because of course everything's connected. I see the TV mount box underneath the bed. I finished up, turned the shower off, walked towards the bed. I had to check to make sure that it was really what it was. And it was. Then there just happens to be a paper right next to the box. I looked at the paper. The paper was a bank statement. As I'm sitting there looking at the paper, it had said his fake name at the top. And I was like, how did he open a bank account with his fake name? So then I'm looking at the transactions, and the first one I had seen was a payment made to a jewelry store. The next transaction that I had seen was a check that he had deposited. Then the next transaction that I had seen was him sending money back and forth to a female. When I checked the dates of the transactions, it just so happened to be the same day, June 28th, that he asked me to come down there, open the bank account, go to Atlanta with him, all that stuff. So now I'm like, this has to be the female who he was in Atlanta with. Mind y'all, that was a week and a half prior, because now it was July 9th going into the night of the 10th. I sat there on the edge of the bed. I was just on my phone. It was late as hell, like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, I'm going to wait a couple more hours and then I'm going to leave. 5:30 in the morning rolls around. And from where I had just been sitting there for all that time, thinking and reflecting on everything that had happened, I was getting nauseous to my stomach and physically ill. I went in the bathroom and I got sick. And that's when I was like, it's really time for you to go home. I grabbed my stuff and tried to just sneak out. As I was pulling open the bedroom door, I'm literally slightly pulling the knob, trying to open it to make as less noise as possible. But it was stuck, so I had to pull it just a little bit. And when I did, it made a noise. Of course, that woke him up, and he turned and asked, where was I going? I said, I keep getting sick, so I'm leaving to go take care of myself. And he says, no, don't leave yet. If you stay, I got a way for us to make some money today. You trying to make $8K? I said, I'm really cool on all that. I'm just ready to go. And he says, fine, you can go. And I instantly left.
Girl, at this point, you really need to do some self-evaluation. And I'm pretty sure now that she's telling this story, she's probably looking back on many, many things and just like reminiscing and realizing just how delusional she was in these moments, because you had many opportunities to leave. You had many opportunities to go to the hospital. You could have handled this so differently. And yes, we all go through things, and then when we think back on it, we're like, damn, I should have did this differently. I should have did that differently. You have a lot of regret. But in this situation, baby girl, come on now. Come on. Unpack your thoughts in the comments. I feel like she is more worried about him being with other women than about any other thing, and also about the money. But the fact that she was great is not really computing in her mind. I understand everybody handles trauma differently. So I'm not going to fault her. But it's like, ooh, I wish I could just grab her and shake her real quick, because your brain just needs a little bit of, ooh, Lord. I just, unpack your thoughts in the comments. I can't even talk. I'm shocked. I'm not even shocked, because at this point she already showed us that she don't got it all there. And being 27, baby girl, you 3 years from 30. Okay? And as your big sister, I'm letting you know now that don't you ever, ever let this shit happen again. Men only do what you allow. And you have allowed this man to see that you are desperate for money, that you do not have any self-respect or self-love, and that he can treat you any kind of way and you'll continue to come back. He knew you were going to knock on that door. He knew him telling you, oh, I know where you at. I'm going to cancel them payments. He knew that that's a soft spot for you. He knows how to get you, and he's using that to manipulate you, and you are allowing him to. At this point in the story, baby, let us continue, cousins. Unpack your thoughts in the comments. I'm trying my best to give grace, because I give a lot of grace to people. I really try not to judge. I can judge. I can be very judgmental, but I'm trying not to, because there's a lot of different situations going on with this topic. But girl, don't you ever, ever let this happen again. Where are your friends? Where are your parents? Where is anybody that you feel comfortable talking to? Yes, you feel embarrassed. At the time, you were embarrassed. But girl, you couldn't go and talk to anybody. I have one friend in my life that I can tell her anything. Literally anything. And that is my little sister. And when I tell you all the embarrassing things, everything, I can tell her, and I know that it's going to be a safe space. You don't have somebody in your life, anybody in your life that you can talk to about this that would have told you. Cousins, unpack your thoughts. Let's continue.
I couldn't even drive from how physically ill I was. I literally had to drive to the nearest hotel, use their bathroom, then I took a little nap just to get back refreshed. When I got home, I slept that entire day. I had no energy to do anything. That next day, I had plans with my sister for her birthday that I couldn't miss, so I had to get out the bed and get myself going. I was so disgusted and disappointed with myself, I didn't even look myself in the mirror. I make it to my sister's house, and as we're getting ready, she notices something on my arm. Of course, she immediately asked me what the fuck happened to me and if I was okay. I said, don't worry about that right now. It's your birthday. It's time to celebrate you. We'll worry about that and talk about that another time. She told me that she didn't care, but I insisted that we focused on her birthday. We had already had 4 days of plans, and I just wasn't trying to ruin it. That first night we went out, I ended up not even having to pull my wallet out. Everything was cool. The next day that we went out, I used my credit card for everything. The day after that, when we went out, I went to go pay for $7 parking. My card declines.
Cousins, didn't I say in part 6 that he's using the account from her that she opened to pay, quote unquote, all her bills, quote unquote? Oh my goodness. Baby, you got swindled. And he's not even a pro at it. Let's be honest. Him not answering phone calls, turn off. The way he looks, turn off. Like, just the way the tantrums he have, him bragging about money, turn off, turn off, turn off. Everything about him is a turn off. And you let this thing of a boy, you let that thing, somebody who got neck braids, you let him swindle you like this. Unpack your thoughts in the comments. I'm coming back with another part, because the story is still not over. She is still telling it. And at this point, I'm through. I'm through. So my next part, I'm probably not gonna say much, because baby, I don't know what else to say. There's not much else to say because unpack your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. How do you let him, when you look at this man, this is the man that you let swindle you, baby, out of over $4,000? You let him put you in debt? And yeah, you was a willing participant for most of it. But you didn't deserve to get raped. I'm going to stand on that. You did not deserve that. But girl, you could have stopped this. You could have stopped this. I know for sure. And I don't even another reason why I don't want to bash her either is because I just feel like she's telling the story now. One, she said to make everybody aware because there are other women coming out talking about this man. And two, I feel like she knows where she messed up at. So it's like, you don't got to beat somebody when they're already down on their knees. And then three, she is trying to heal. She is probably just want to get the story out to heal. And sometimes talking about it will definitely help. But baby, I really hope you learned your lesson. And if you haven't, don't you date again. I'm sorry. Don't date again. Unpack your thoughts in the comments. Like this video. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure your notification bell is on so you can be notified every single time I post. Part 8 is going to be coming up. Probably, well, not tomorrow because it's Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful time with your families. But more than likely, I'm going to put out part 8 on Thursday. Bye.
I check my bank account and I see this. When I saw that, I knew then that I was not tripping when I thought I had seen him put the passcode into my phone. This man must have watched me. I don't know when, but he watched me put the passcode into my phone and he remembered it. I have my phone set up to where I have to use my Face ID to make payments. So he bypassed the Face ID and used my passcode to my phone. I physically got sick. Now I'm like, check the credit card banking app. I see this. I didn't even check my electric bill account because I already knew. Bounced back. I had the biggest mental breakdown that I've ever had in my life. It was already late at night, so that morning when I got up and I tried to call him, I was blocked. So I get on my text-free app and this is what I texted him.